What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. I think it's episode, what we at, D?
23. Jordan episode.
Episode 23. The Jordan episode, not the LeBron.
Nope.
Okay, or LeBron. Okay, or LeBron. I spoke too soon. Or LeBron. You know, whoever your favorite 2-3 is your day. You know. My name is Jared. My co-host is Denzel. And we're going to get into some cigar talk and a little bit of everything else, possibly. Hey, let's not waste no time. Let's get straight into introducing who the stars of the show is. We're going to be doing some Arturo Fuente today. Short stick day.
Okay. Short stick day. So we got that Fuente. Hey, man, I am a huge fan of Fuente, especially the short stick. So you got the short story, or is it just the a petite?
Man, I got a petite. They didn't have a short story in. Yeah.
Man. Get your hands on that short story. That's the one. That might be my favorite short stick of all time.
Yeah, I think it is for you.
Yeah, it is. And Fuente, man, they do those cigars good, man. All right, so I was inspired by you. You made a post and you had a T52 in there, I believe. Went to the cigar shop.
I did.
Found me a T52. Little boy. All right, so I got that.
I was mad you had that because I actually showed mine in my post just to flex on you a little bit, and then you came back with one. And I was like,
right back on top of you. Hey, look, I'm here. I'm right there with you. Hey, and I know those cigars aren't gonna last long in the shop I went to, so I had to make sure I took advantage of the opportunity and scoop one up.
Right.
But that's not what I'm gonna smoke today. Not what I'm going to smoke today. I have a Cromagnon. Cromagnon? You ever seen one of those?
Big torpedo sitting on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. So this is by RoMa Craft Cigars. I've had the Neanderthal at one point. Pretty good. Never had the Cromagnon, if I'm saying this correctly. And it kind of stuck out to me. So I said, let's give this guy a shot. Let's do some research on it, see what we can find out about it, and try to explore some great options for short cigars. Remember a few years ago, we used to do Short Stick Wednesdays, and used to try to find out all the short sticks that we can find that'll give you that full experience in that short amount of time. So back at it, man. Back at it and trying to find a unique cigar, short cigar that's going to give you everything that you want. Give you all the bang for your buck, too. Bang for your buck and bang for your time.
Hey, sounds good. Hey, man, you see I also had that Rocky Patel, man. I went and grabbed one, but I got it in the short man. One, you know. I was close to pulling that out today. I would have pulled that one out if you weren't going Arturo Fuente with me. I thought we was going Fuente together. Right. So,
you thought we was going to do Fuente together? Oh man, I definitely would have grabbed one. Yeah. You saying? I figured doing something different, something I haven't smoked before, especially for a short stick day. You know, it was important.
Okay, that's fair. Hey man, I'm cut already, man. Straight cut D style.
Straight cut. Hey, look, man. I got my punch. I don't know if I said this on the last episode, but I got a punch. Last one I went with the punch, but of course I got the torpedo. So we're gonna go straight cut today.
Okay. Hey man, let's get started, man.
Let's do it, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie. Huh? I got a little bit of bamboo to go with mine. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I was going to ask you about the drink.
Shout out to Rick Ross, you know, because in his stories, he was bomb that clock. He was in the dance moves. He inspired me.
Yeah, man. He was going on for the bamboo.
I pulled my bamboo out today. And I was dipping it a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I've been dipping it in my cigar in it a little bit, waiting on the show. And now we about to go.
That's the move. I haven't done that in a while. A young smoker asked me about that, about dipping cigars, and asking if I did it and if I enjoyed it and what kind of dynamic that brought to the cigar. And I realized, wow, I haven't done that in a while. I haven't dipped the ends of my cigars in a while. You know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get them infused. So that's a good move, man. You going with a match?
You know who I am. This one right here. This one match you see right here. This all
One
it's
match.
gonna be.
It's gonna get it done.
Good done.
All right, here we go. I got my match going. You know, and quality matches make a difference, man. Quality matches make a big difference. I'm already out. Match number 2.
You see this?
And I just broke my. You up, man. You up. I ain't mad at you. I ain't even gonna be a hater about it.
You see how little my finger was in danger of being hurt? I just want you to recognize there was no risk of my finger being harmed at no point in time with this. One man shouty, man. You know, I do what I do. You know, that whole show that we did and we talked about, you know, how, you know, it's not a big deal to take more than one match. I wish I could take it back because I'm so good with one match. From now, I'm looking down on all y'all to take 2 matches. I'm brand new.
3 matches for me today. I might have to go for just
new
even
number.
New number?
New number. Who are you? Who this? Who this?
One,
hey man.
Hey, just like Jay, you know, claim to fame that one take. It means something, right? And all the rappers, hey, I got to get it in one take. If I don't get it in one take, I'm not living up to the expectations.
Yeah,
I feel you on it. I'm gonna get there one day.
I'm just changing the bar, man. We got to have a new standard out here in this world, man. You know, it's cigar smokers, man. We can't be out here trying to look cool and then all of a sudden, you know, you just running through a whole matchbox.
A whole book.
Like you
got a whole book. Matchbox, yeah.
You know, but I actually have some pretty good ones here, you know.
Good quality ones, man.
Cigars.
It makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. It does make a difference. So I am at 4 matches.
Not burning as fast. 4. Ooh.
4 matches. 4 matches to get me right. All right, so you got the Bumble.
Get your numbers together.
I got a mudslide. Try something different. You know what I'm saying? Put something different on the palate.
It's like a nightcap or something?
Nightcap is Friday. Oh, hey, look. Usually we do this show on Saturdays. I didn't know if you wanted to give it up, but we're doing this on a Friday night, so it's a different vibe for our show this time around. So hey, let's try this mudslide. Let's see if we can shake things up a little bit. Do a little bit different today.
I dig it. You know, man, I'm doing the bamboo though, man. You know, I'm doing hard liquor with a new vibe.
Hey, because usually you don't. Usually you're on the coffee or keep it smooth. But hey, like it's a Friday evening smoke, so let's get it in. Hey.
Now I don't know. For me personally, I don't know if it's the cigar shop, and I'm gonna blame the cigar shop this time.
Okay.
Because I was going through and some of my sticks that I was trying to choose from felt a little bit stale. But this cigar is opening off really rough right now for me, you know.
And that is not like a Fuentes cigar.
I don't think so. This ain't like Fuente. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they normally come off smooth.
Come off smooth from start to finish.
Yeah, so that
no butane.
You see right off the bat, I blame the cigar shop for this. I didn't even hold it against Arturo. So
I mean, but that's good though. Like once you know a reputable brand, and you've had enough of those cigars, it's like you can only go back to the cigar shop, and then saying that when you looked at the cigars, you touched them. Some of them might have felt a little hard or a little stale, like they weren't getting the amount of humidity that was required to keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking is that
you gotta do your cigars justice. Got to do your cigars justice, and that's just a tip for anybody who has a humidor at home. Pay attention to your humidity levels. Pay attention to it.
Makes a difference. Makes a world of a difference. You think you like that cigar. Keep the humidity levels right, see how much you like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you might think you don't like that cigar. but you know, you got to judge it fair. And, you know, and in regards to my shop, you know, I know they have like a lounge vibe there a lot of times. The one that I went to today. And you know, don't abuse the fact that you know people coming in and they in the mood, and they just chilling, and they might blow over their head,
and that's
the ones that take it home don't get that same experience.
Because a lot of times, if you don't take care of your cigars, it can get drowned out by the environment. The fact that people like we had a discussion that we've gotten too deep into discussions and not paid attention to the cigar, and the cigar can kind of sit in the background, you know. And when you have that type of lounge environment, you can have a cigar that's kind of sit back and sit in the background, and your environment or your vibe and your conversation or whatever music you're listening to, whatever events going on, it's taking precedence right there. It's taking the forefront, and that cigar falls into the back. But hey, for those that's taking it home, if you ain't taking care of it, it's gonna stand out because like that, like you said, the star of the show. When you take it home or you in that solo vibe. Star of the show is that cigar.
It's it. No distractions. That's all you focused on. You're going to pick up all that's wrong with it. But like you say, in the right place, there's a lot of distractions that become the star sometimes, you know. So, hey, man, don't be lazy. All your customers don't come sit in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it goes a long way. You can't ruin a cigar's brand by not taking care of your cigars. That's the worst thing you can do is turn a novice or a brand new cigar smoker away from a good brand because you didn't take care of your cigars. You owe that to the culture. You owe it to the culture.
I agree with that.
Hey, so let me go ahead and talk about my cigar a little bit. Mm-hmm. So the Cromagnon by RoMa Craft, medium to full body. So 93 rating. Named number 15 cigar of 2016. I don't know how true we hold those ratings and the numbers and where they level up. Some people take them to heart. Some people, whatever. It's just a rating. It really comes down to what you like. So this one, it looks like it's has 3 Nicaraguan grown region tobacco blends. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I want to go off and name them. Esteli, Condega, and Pueblo Nueva, all right, which is located on the Honduran border. So I guess you kind of get some Honduran kind of emphasis on that third region. So it's kind of a mix. Okay. It looks like they're doing. So it's supposed to give it a unique, savory, smoky flavor, kind of like that rustic feel, right? You're not going to get anything that's kind of laid back, smooth. It's going to give you a robust, rustic mood. And I would say this, like I usually don't like to get into the descriptions until like I get into the cigar, but I did read it after I got my cigar puff, took a few puffs off of it, and it's a rustic cigar. This is definitely a rustic. This is not a morning stick. So I'm glad we're smoking it now. It is an evening stick, man.
Yeah. Man, that sounds like I want to go pick some tobacco and smoke that, man. I like the sound of that.
Hey, this is the type of cigar you smoke while you're rolling other tobacco, rolling other cigars, or you in the tobacco field checking out tobacco leaves yourself. This is one of those.
It's perfect for that.
It's perfect. It's perfect for that. This is not a yacht cigar. It's not I'm on a yacht on the beach. This is not one of those cigars. I will let you know that off gate. It's not a bad cigar. First third that we're in, it's not a bad cigar. It has those leather notes. It has those pepper. But I think it holds it really well so far.
Okay. But you got to do some work with that cigar. That's what that's for.
Yeah. I'm in the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the field with it.
I need a nice grind cigar, man. I ain't had no cigars to grind to, man. I've been chasing yacht cigars the whole time, man.
Hey, every now and then you got to get back down to the dirt, man. You got to get back down to the dirt and say, hey, look, this is a grind cigar. I got to put on my, you know what I'm saying, my thinking man cap. We're gonna get our hands dirty. We got to get it
some
going.
Boots on and some gloves and go outside, man.
Yeah. Is this the one you bite the cap off of and get it going?
There you go.
It's not a delicate. It's not a delicate cigar. But so far so good though, man. So far so good. But yeah. So to get into some other everything else real quick. So I sent you some thoughts, and I said this little phrase that came to my mind was sensitized insensitivity. And he was like, man, what you mean by that? And trying to think too deep into whatever it is you're talking about. You got to break that down for me.
Right.
All right. So simply put, I had two different experiences with media. I'm in the car with my kids, taking my son and his friends, you know what I'm saying, a little birthday thing, and I'm playing music in the car. And I'm trying to find censored music because, you know, the music we listen to is just casually, you know, profanity thrown throughout. All your R&B songs nowadays, it's hard to find an R&B song that doesn't have profanity in it. You go back 15, 20, 30 years ago, a little bit, you might find a song here and there, and they might throw some things out there, but keep it light. Or they might have some topics they're singing about, but
it was coded.
You got to decode it. Yeah, it was coded.
You might get a hell or a down, but that's about as far as you was gonna get as far as language go in R&B. You know.
And I'm like, man, can I find a clean version of this? The radio edit. You know, before and at one point in time, and I think people protested it when YouTube banned all the cuss words out of the songs. You couldn't find the raw album cut version of songs. But now you can't even find clean versions of the songs. Right?
It's hard.
So I'm like, man, like all these R&B songs got profanity in it. Can't find anything clean. So we desensitized to that. You know, a lot of your TV shows throw, you know what I'm saying, profane words out there. When you go back and you get a hell or a damn, it's like, whoa, hold up, on Fox. Fox was a risky network. You ain't gonna hear it on CBS or NBC. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna get it on Fox. They gonna throw a couple of them at you. But now you're getting all of it. You're getting F-bombs on regular TV now, on cable TV rather though, but still, you know what I'm saying?
A TBS or something, a drop one for you, you know, something like that.
Yeah. So you'll get all of that. But then I'm watching the show and I'm slightly cringing. And this is from me who a lot of things that we grew up on, think about something that Sanford the Son would say, Red Fox in his show. He would go in, right? But I'm like, oh, man, you can't say that in 2022. I was watching Steve Harvey's show, Jamie Foxx show. I'm like, ooh, you can't say that in 2022. And it was like the balance of the two of you have one sector where the rules are gone. You can throw all of these things over here, but then now it's like, okay, well, but you can't say that. So you have censorship lifted on one thing, but then the censorship gate closed down on another thing. That balance, like, what does that tell me where we're going as a society to where we're acceptable to this but not accepting to that? Like you're getting this complete, like it's a 1-for-1 swap almost, which is weird to me.
It's a swap.
So you can't say these things, but then these things can be allowed. Where, like, what's the logic?
Yeah, it's it almost makes you feel like, and you got me thinking about it, right? Because I was actually watching the Jamie Foxx show earlier this week, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh wow, you know that's some suggestive sexuality that Jamie's saying in a couple of these lines. I don't know if you can get away with that today." I was thinking the same thing just this week when I was watching this show. Because he was just flirting, you know what I'm saying? But stuff he said then, I'm kind of like, I don't know if you can say that today. But at the same time, you can visually see worse things done on TV, on network shows, than suggestive things that was of the 90s. So it almost gives credence to people who believe it's some type of propaganda or agenda behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because
okay.
it's certain demographics that used to have the ability to say and do stuff, and now you just can't say and do stuff no more. And then the other demographic gets to flaunt what they're doing because it's like, well, you were held back all this time, so you get to
Here you go.
Okay, so let's not talk around. I'm not gonna beat around the bush with it. You know what I'm saying? So let's just be open about it. Like,
that's what we're here for.
Men have always had the right to be able to do what they want, right? You know what I'm saying? So now it's like anything that you say that's kind of going against women, they like, hey man, chill out with that. But it's the same thing as how like black people can say certain stuff, but white people can't say it. It's just, and white people just got to sit that back and take it. It's like, you're right. Yeah. Now everybody else is having to take it, and a lot of things where women and like the gay community is getting to have their way now. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else got to sit back and be quiet and just be like, all right, you can go. You know what I'm saying? Get that off, do your thing, because we had our turn. Now it's your turn. Like, and like you say, in a sense, it's like, okay, well, I get them getting their turn, but if we canceling that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If, as a society, if we not acting like that no more, that's what it is. Like, why are we still
like it's one for one, like, but then the other one, no. So it's like, how do you allow censorship in one area and then allow non-censorship in another area? It was this weird to me. It's just like, man, we become desensitized to certain things, but then now we're becoming more sensitive to things. It's like, oh, you can't say that. But you go back to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, those things were just flying. Like you said, Jamie Foxx show, Steve Harvey show. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You can joke on somebody having mental disabilities and joke, whatever. Cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not to bring up the old Will Smith thing that happened a few weeks ago. Oh, you can't make that joke anymore? You know what I'm saying? So now words mean something, but then words don't mean something in another sense. So where are we? Where are we?
Yeah.
That's my
exactly where we left off at. We are exactly where we left off at, but other groups are getting their turn to do it now. So it's like, why even play your hand like it's about growing as a culture, as a society, when it's really not about growing as a society? It's just about these other groups got to get their turn now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What group is growing? This group gets to grow. Y'all stand back, hold tight.
Yeah,
you'll get your turn. It'll come back around to you again.
Everything just broke even. We're still the same. We're just still the same. You know what I'm saying? It's just new players playing the same old game. You know what I'm saying? And the game is evolving, but I mean, it's the same game. You know what I'm saying? The same old stuff we was doing. Like, I don't know. It's the weird. And then they drop the hammer down on people now. Like,
yeah. And I like to think that I'm not somebody who like plays into it, but I'm even finding myself like, oh, that's cringeworthy. Or then something that used to be cringeworthy, to me, it's not cringeworthy anymore. Like, it's weird. Like, even me, who I'm thinking is somebody who, you know, I don't play into that, but now I'm seeing it affect me to where I'm cringing on certain things. Like, but then I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I can see the masses falling into that shift easily.
Yeah. Yeah, it's affecting everybody, you know, and everybody's it's almost like brainwashing people, you know what I'm saying? Like, even just now, as we were talking about it, my initial gut was to censor myself, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you don't want to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying?
I had that feeling when you said it. Yeah, like, you know what? I'm gonna just let it fly. Yeah, because you're like you said, your initial reaction was like, hold on, can I say that? Should I say this? Can we talk about
But I didn't say, can we talk about it? But was it really offensive what I said? You know what I'm saying? Like, really? It's
not from my opinion.
It's not. I didn't say nothing to hurt nobody, but the fact that I have to think about it first. Like, all right, is that gonna be offensive to
Yeah.
somebody? Like,
Yeah.
it lets you know the direction we're going in, because none of this stuff is really worth being offended over. You know what I'm saying? But
Truth.
it's the
Truth.
direction
No,
we're
that's
going.
actual fact. That's actual fact. But here we are, man. Here we are. But I'll tell you in one sector that certain conversations can't be had is the cigar culture. We can have these conversations.
I mean, one would hope. You know, we seem like a less sensitive group, but you never know until the time comes.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's something I am concerned about too. Barbershop conversations, cigar lounge conversations. Can you have those same barbershop conversations? I've been in some, you go to the lounge and you and brothers of the leaf and the sisters of the leaf are sitting around and conversations are just flying. And that's the premise of this whole podcast, the cigars and everything else, is that you sit down over a cigar and let the conversation take you,
Right.
And you get to the point of self-censorship now, like what saying, what we just experienced just now, self-censorship. Can I talk about this in the barbershop? Can we talk about this?
Everybody,
you got to censor yourself in the barbershop now. And the barbershop was known for conversations to be whatever.
Right.
Comedians. That's the forum where you should feel like, okay, no holds barred. Everything's open to be joked on. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know I'm joking.
Everybody has a disability on some level. Everybody has a shortcoming on some level. And it's to be joked about. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to take that humor, take those real life things and be able to put humor in it. But it's like, it's conversation. You're really getting attacked like this. But then at the same time, we're desensitizing in other ways. So
yeah,
what's the balance? How does it make sense? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And touching on how you were saying about people since self-censoring, which made me think about something else, but I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. But I daggone sure did. But I think a lot of people are doing it now in conversations like dang, I had a point, man. I lost it. Forget it.
It'll come back around. Hey, man, that happened to me early today. I'm like, man, I had called somebody into my office and I had something for them and I couldn't think of what like, dude. I said, just go away. And I'll come get you when it comes to me. Man, that break is happening. we talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's we slowing down a little bit, man. It happened, but it's all good though. It's the bamboo.
Maybe it's the bamboo. I'm trying really hard to regain this thought because it's right here on this same subject, man. But I don't want to hold the show up with that, man. But do you think it's gonna ever reach a point where we either totally commit to not talking about anything, or we just get to the point where people get pissed off and you start regaining your freedom of speech a little bit?
You know what? I think it's more so the latter, that people will get more pissed off, and it's gonna be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna say what I got to say. If you get offended, you get offended. You know, it might come to a climax of tension, but I think ultimately once we get past that, it's gonna get back to, I'm gonna say what I want to say. It's my content, especially when we get more into content ownership, and people are owning their own content. So I can say I'm going to be able to say what I want to say, and you can reach your own audience. So I can say what I want to say to my own audience. You know, kind of like Donald Trump when he got banned from all social media. Well, his fix to that was, you know what? I'm going to start my own social media, and I can say whatever I want to say, and you can't stop me from saying whatever it is I want to say because I have an audience who wants to listen to it.
Right.
I think
See,
it'll more so end up becoming that.
It's so many people that want to cancel your life if they don't agree with what you say. You know what I'm saying? And that's the frustrating thing. It's like, man, some of this stuff, it's okay to just not like what I say and disagree with it. You don't have to hate me because I have a difference of
let
opinion.
it go,
Like, yeah.
Or you say something in your past, years ago, and somebody digs it up, like the whole Kevin Hart thing that happened years ago. Somebody went back to some tweets he put out in like 2010, and it's 2020, 10 years ago. It's like, dude, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, and he said somebody.
Now I'm canceled. Now
he did not want his son to be gay or something like that. They cancel him.
And now I can't be. Well, he's supposed to host the Oscars or something like that. Now I can't host the Oscars because of something I said in a tweet 10 years ago, over a decade ago. You know what I mean?
But see, that goes back to what I was saying. The example I gave about like black people being able to say stuff white people can't say it. It goes back to that because skinny people can pick on. Fat people can pick on skinny people, but skinny people can't pick on fat people. Smart people can't pick on dumb people, but dumb people can pick on smart people. Rich people can't pick on poor people, but poor people can talk junk about rich people. And yeah. But now if somebody that was actually gay said, man, I hope my son don't turn out straight, it would be no problem, no backlash. Yeah. So it goes back to that whole thing, certain demographics. The person who's looked at or viewed in the equation as the oppressee can always insult the oppressor, but you can't flip-flop. It's looked at as bullying, I guess, Yeah. If you're in the position of popularity.
Yeah, which I get to a sense because you have the ability to oppress. So if you say something and it's against a group that's lesser that can be oppressed, okay, it should be taken more offensive than the group that's lesser talking about the person who has the power. Because even though I said what I said, you can still go on and you can still flourish. I still can't oppress you, even with what I'm saying. I can't do anything to you. You're untouchable to a degree. So I can understand less backlash in that aspect, because even though I say something about you, you're still the more and not the lesser.
So what you telling me is
so the consequences.
Spider-Man saying with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. That's what you giving me, like.
Yeah. So if I'm up here, I can't talk.
I gotta take it on the chin if I'm up in life. Like I can't never say nothing. Like.
Yeah, and that is unfair. It is unfair because everybody should, in my opinion, be able to take it on the chin. But it's just the fact of, okay, what level of maliciousness comes along with it.
Yeah, you never know the
core intent of it. Where are we at with it?
Yeah, but people so sensitive now. I don't even think they care about the intent because everybody looking at headlines. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, you can't even get to the intent half the time now. Like even with Dave Chappelle and the backlash he caught for some of the things he said. If you look at the intent, what he was saying, he had a really good intent on what he was saying. It made a lot of sense to a lot of people, but then to another group of people, it was just too offensive to even get past that for in their mind to get to the intent.
Right. Yeah, people go into and not just that group, but people in general. You know what I'm saying? When your group, your demographics under attack in your eyes, they in their feelings, man. People don't even want to hear what you're saying to understand your message.
And intent means nothing to them at that point. You know
nothing, because they're automatically on guard. Like, and you have conversations with people in your regular life like that. You say something to them and they're on guard right away. And it's like, would you put your hands down for a second? I'm not trying to fight you. Listen to what I'm saying. Like, and it'll make sense.
To what I'm saying.
Like, but
either I'm trying to say something to make sense, or I'm just trying to say something to make you laugh or be lighthearted. We ain't got to go there, and it got to be that. It don't have to be that.
Yeah. But people on
where we are as a society, man.
Yeah, we move too fast. Everything's moving too fast for somebody to ever take time to actually know what I'm talking about. So I will be judged on whatever headline or meme or however many characters they can get my message out in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be that. And the funny thing was that used to only affect like celebrities when they would put it in newspapers and magazines and stuff, you know, and they would get bad pub because people would they would misquote them. Now the whole world can be misquoted. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah. Hey, but then tell me this though. Do you think the access for even with celebrities and regular people, it can go either way. The access to put out information is too much. Should we have this much access to put out information, or should it be limited? Because I can see the good and the bad in all of it. If we really chop it down and break it down,
that's what makes me just say let it stay how it is. Because it's always gonna be the good and the bad in it. You know what I'm saying?
But personally,
any idea.
I miss, even though, like you said, things can get misconstrued, misquoted. I miss that level of mystery, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Between information being put out, or you get a quote from a celebrity, or like, do you feel like access is too much to celebrities now? Because I kind of miss that era of you wait for the Vibe magazine to come out to see what this artist said, or you wait for this big interview that Ed Gordon did to hear what this person got to say.
Yeah, I do miss that access, but the problem with it is everybody's so accessible that you have so many options that people don't even care what the celebs are saying anyway. So even if
I think they do.
back to that,
I think they do.
I think the celebrities are the regular people now, and they care more what the regular people are doing than they care about the celebrities.
Yeah. They are. I mean, even to me,
you can't be a mysterious celebrity today. If you a mysterious celebrity, you gone. Like you're not.
You're about to say you vanish. Your career dies. If you don't get out there and put information out and put yourself out there in front of the world, you fall off. It's too much access and too much traffic for you to stay in the background, and you're gonna get forgotten about. You're gonna get tracked upon. I mean, just this. I was on YouTube looking at these interviews. I mean, like the podcast things where everybody breaking off and doing their podcast. The I Am Athlete, they broke up and these guys went over here and these guys got their thing going. And then Joe Budden podcast, they broke up. And then you got this guy's podcast and that podcast, and you got the Breakfast Club, and then you got this radio show and that radio show, and everybody's doing the interview. So honestly, I got to the point of being frustrated scrolling through my TV, looking at videos and seeing people just talking too much. I don't even want to listen to anything anymore. I got to the point I didn't want to listen to anything anymore because it was way too saturated for me.
Yeah, that's where it's at. So I agree that I wish it would go back in a sense, but at the same time, even if it went back, it wouldn't change nothing. Like whatever the game is, it's always going to be the negative side to it. You know what I'm saying? So it might as well just stay what it's going to be for now, and then it evolve into what it is, and it'll be good side and bad side to that also. So I mean,
I miss when an artist could get missing for 3-4 years and then come back. Oh, here they come! They got an album coming out, and you know what I'm saying? The press is big, the rollout is big, and then boom, the project drops. Now you don't get a chance to miss celebrities anymore. You don't get a chance to miss your favorite artist and for them to have this big comeback because they dropping stuff every day and they got an interview every other day, and this is like they're just always there. Or you have access, you're following them on Instagram, so you're seeing them 24/7.
Right. You know, you got to be special as an artist today to get missed and people missed. Care.
Yeah.
Like you got to be a Kendrick or a J. Cole, and even then they're not totally missing, but they're missing more than the average artist. You know what I'm saying?
Than the average. Yeah. And even when remember when DMX put out 2 albums in a year? and that was like this big to do. Was like,
was
yo,
working.
yeah. But now it's like if you don't put out an album a year, what are you doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. What's taking you so long? Yeah. Yeah,
who do you think started that? Do you think it was maybe it was a lie? Do you think it was Tupac? You think Pac started that?
What you mean? Putting out a ton of material?
A ton of material. I don't think he put out a ton of like official material, but the fact that he did so much material and then it kind of bled into other artists just saying, you know what, I just need to beef up this and just run through all of these, you know what I'm saying, projects and put them out.
I think he influenced people's work ethic, but you know, to credit him is who really made it a thing. I can't credit Pac for making it a thing, but Pac was probably what birthed the idea for the artists who did do it. You know what I'm saying? Because he did what he did, which made people like 50 Cent say, wow, man, did you know how much work he was doing? And then 50 started dropping all these mixtapes and albums with his crew. And then you get a Wayne who say, man, look how 50 working. Let me go work just as hard. And then he drop all this stuff. And then next thing you know, you get a Future who's doing the same thing. And then and Gucci Mane who's doing the same thing. And then all the little drug heads start doing the same thing with their music.
And then now you got just now it's the culture. Now it's the culture. You got to drop an EP. You got to drop a single. You got to drop an album. You just got to keep dropping. But then at what point do the artists get burnt out now? Like, to me, stuff isn't like we talked about. We use the word special. Like, it doesn't feel special anymore to me. Maybe because I'm older. I don't know. But to me, it just doesn't feel special anymore.
Well, it's hard to get burnt out, D. First of all, when they freestyling all their songs. You get burnt out when you actually taking your time and creating the whole project, start to finish. But
and the songs are 2 minutes long.
Yeah. And over 2 tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
And I got a friend that's an engineer. He told me the artists be coming to him and he mix it for them and get it nice and clean. And they be like, I like my version better. It's too clean. Can't you make it sound a little more dirty and less polished? Like, so it's just different, man. Like everything. That's why it moves so fast. Give me the 2 track. He was telling me people just the big names artists record over 2 tracks. It ain't no such thing as like send me the stems and then I'm gonna do all 12. I'm gonna record over all 16 tracks you did on your beat, and then we're gonna have the mix engineer mix it and stuff and add bridges and ain't none of that, man. I'm gonna go in there and freestyle over your 2 track, and then whoever recorded it gonna give me a rough mix. And then once he give me that rough mix, because I gotta leave the studio in 15 minutes, he gonna mix it.
I might not even do ad libs. I might not even do ad libs.
Yeah, and then
I might not even do ad libs. Yeah, that's crazy.
So how do you get burnt out with that? Like, think about how many freestyles we did in the dorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was putting those out. We'd have had a ton of albums. Like,
we had a ton of tracks. Yeah.
But you'll get burnt out listening to it.
Truth. But I wish things would slow down a little bit more. I wish we would get to a point of things being special again and have an opportunity to miss artists, miss projects, have them dwell into an era, like to create an era. You think when Michael Jackson, the Thriller era, then the Bad era, you know what I'm saying? Like those were moments created in time, like that just are solidified in time. Like you can actively see the lines drawn at each project that came out.
Yeah.
You don't get that anymore.
It was. I want, but you know, that less than more than that, I want an era where I can just talk freely. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want that. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the original subject, I want that era, you know? Well, I don't have to feel nervous about what's coming out my mouth.
about what you got to say, because you don't know how the next man, next woman, next non-binary is gonna take whatever you got to say.
Right there, exactly what you saying right there, right?
I gotta make sure I include everybody, right?
I go in shop places, or at a restaurant or something, and your waiter or waitress come, and they be young people, and I'll be like, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And then after they leave, I'm like, I hope I didn't offend them by calling them sir or ma'am, because I don't know what I'm just trying to be polite, and I got to worry if I'm offending you by trying to be polite to you and stuff like that.
Yeah. You got to be careful in how you're being polite nowadays.
In my kindness, I got to overthink my kindness.
I got to overthink your kindness.
You know how much I hate overthinking.
Right.
Anybody who overthinks, right? I despise people who overthink, let alone becoming one of them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And now you're forced to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular, everyday, what used to be standard procedure, it's not standard procedure anymore.
Because it might offend somebody. I walk in a room, hey guys, and if there are two girls in it, I gotta worry if she gonna be mad at me because I said, hey guys.
You said guys.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But it used to just be a way that you could greet a room. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just simple. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I don't mean
particularly guy when I said guys. That's, you know what I'm saying? Now what you can't say
gender to the word.
Now you can't say mankind because it's womankind too and non-binary kind too.
Or non-binary kind. I don't even know what that word means, to be honest. No disrespect to anybody, but like since we being open, what does that mean?
Somebody's offended.
Somebody's offended, but I don't know what it means. Like I hear
it means you don't subscribe to a gender.
To a gender at all. Okay.
It's like you don't consider yourself male and you don't consider yourself female. You don't subscribe to a gender.
Okay. I got it.
Cigar. I don't know.
Understood. Understood, I mean, that's fine. What happens, like, so I see these like wrestling contests with like girls getting beat up by
I know exactly where you're going with it.
By other girls, man. But they like, used to be guys and stuff, man. Does that whole non-binary thing, like, is it okay to is it okay to hit a girl if you non-binary? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's never reason to hit a woman.
But if I consider myself non-binary, that gives me to, hey, look, I'm not a guy, so I didn't hit a girl. I'm non-binary. So it's no harm, no foul.
It's a weird game you get into, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but look,
in the future,
if that's what you are, that's cool. But I mean, if there gonna be some people that's gonna take advantage of your movement, just so you know, like, you know what I'm saying? They gonna play that
you already
line.
See, like you said, like people are already taking advantage of the gender. Hey, I subscribe to being a female. I like to wrestle. I'm going to wrestle in the female league, and I'm going to crush every last one of them. You already see that?
Strangling the hell out of a girl, man. I felt so bad for that poor girl. Like, she getting ragdolled, man. Like, God.
So what's probably going to have to happen is you're going to have 3 or 4 different leagues now. You have to have a male league for those who consider themselves male, a female for those who consider themselves female, a non-binary league for a group of people who are non-binary, or then you have to have a transgender league of male to female and female to male leagues.
See,
because
even that D is
now we becoming more segregated.
Offensive what you just said, man. That's potentially offensive what you just said, because I don't think that people want to be divided like that, man. Like, I think they just want to be.
Well, are you going to have to?
Race.
Are you going to have to? Are you going to have to? And can you say human?
What you mean?
Because it's human. It's humane.
Humane? Oh, not humane. Okay. You're right,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Hey, man. This linguistic thing, man, you know, it's a funny thing, man. It's set up for us, I guess, man. I don't know.
It's going to be a challenge, man. You watch over the next 20, 30 years, man, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge.
It's gonna be a challenge for me to I feel myself inching towards being an old man that's just angry with the world, and I know by the time I'm officially there,
just disgruntled.
I'm not gonna understand it. Like I'm gonna be disgruntled and confused by everything about it, and not confused because I don't want you to be able to be happy with your life, but confused because you're making me have to relearn everything again, and I'm too old to be doing that. Like.
Right. It's like, hey, look, this is the way it was for I don't know how many years of my life. It was cool with me that way. So I don't subscribe to this. But hey, look, but in the military, man, our physical tests, our PT tests, they revamped the whole thing. Now they had to revamp it like 3 different times. We had like 3.0 right now. We went to 1.0, 1.5, 1.5, 2.0, 2.1, 2.4, 2.7, 2.9, 3.0. And initially, with our physical tests, we would have gender, testing levels, right? Scoring levels, and then age. So it's divided really in 3 different ways of how you come to your score. You know, if I'm 27 and this guy's 18, we have a different scoring system based on our age. And then there's a different scoring system based on age and gender. Now, when they released this test initially, no age, no gender. Everybody was scored the exact same way for how they perform.
Right.
So they changed all the events to it was 3 events. Now there's 6. And they added 5 different ones. So they kept the 2-mile run, but then revamped everything else. So then before it used to be push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. Now there's deadlift, power throw, this sled drag carry event. It was these pull-ups. They got rid of these leg tuck pull-ups. And now you got a plank. And then what else is there? I said deadlift. There's one more thing I'm missing. Doesn't matter. But they got rid of all the dividing factors of how you come to a score. To say everybody's on the same even playing field. I don't care if you're a 40-year-old male or a 20-year-old woman or a 50-year-old woman or a 35-year-old male. Everybody scored the same. In, I guess, the effort of we can't be gender specific and segregate. And I'm telling you, everybody was up in arms. I know me personally, I was up in arms about the age. I'm like, how y'all get rid of the age, man? I can't perform like a 25-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to bring the age categories back. Now bring that back. And then the females looking at it like, nah, man. You can't expect me. I'm a female. I'm 27 and I weigh 102 pounds, but you want me to deadlift the same amount of weight that 250 pound 28-year-old male is supposed to do. How is that? How is that fair? People were up in arms about it, but the idea in the very beginning was we can't be gender specific or we can't be age discriminatory. So let's just get rid of all of that. It made sense in the way that the world's going,
right?
But in practicality, it didn't make sense. So they end up having to go back and revamp it, and then put these categories in, put the categories back in, separate the genders again. So it's, you know what I mean?
You see how this whole thing can backfire on people? Like this whole thing backfires when we can play the whole pretend game. But when it comes down to it starts backfiring when you got to be real and honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
And you talking about people's careers on the line, because you get kicked out the army, you get kicked out the military if you don't pass your test. You failed twice in a row, you out.
There you go.
You had it back. you out the
I'm gonna
door.
be honest with you though, D. I'm a fan of that, the way you described it, where it's no
Mm-hmm.
categories and just everybody. I think there should be a standard of what allows you to get in anything. And I say that for the military. I say that for being a cop, because I want the people that's gonna protect me to meet standard. I don't want the standard to be based off of some lower because I have to be lower. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you I don't care if you a 105-pound woman or man, if you can't get the job done as a cop and you got to call for backup, I don't want you protecting and serving me. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to be kind. Like, you need to go get somebody that can do the job. If you can't do a citizen's arrest, you shouldn't have the job. Like,
if I got to pull somebody out of a burning building and I can't lift somebody who's 150 pounds or 175 pounds, I can't do the job. I mean, and you did see that a lot of times.
I don't care how much passion you got for the job.
Like, especially as a medic, I've seen that to where certain individuals couldn't hold their weight, which meant that certain other individuals had to pick up that weight, which made the job harder for us in the moment, because we got to get this job done, but you can't necessarily perform the job to the same level I perform it. But you're working side by side with me. But now I got to pick up that slack because you can't carry this piece of whatever. If it's a litter or if it's a body or if it's a this or that, I can't actually do it because you can't perform that job. But you're holding the position.
You're holding the position. I don't care who that offends. It is what it is, because that doesn't apply anywhere else in life. If I don't know how to be a doctor, why am I being a doctor? Because you had to fill the position. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I don't know how to do IT work, if I don't know how to type on a computer, then why do I get an IT job? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to be able to meet the standard of the position. And if the standard requires a certain amount of physicality, you need to just be able to do the physicality. Look, there's some people that can do it.
That's a high conversation. That's a high conversation.
I can offend who I'm ready to have that. That's one thing I don't care about offending nobody on, because it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether we talking about physicality or mental, if you're not mentally smart enough to do a job, you don't get it. So why if you can't physically do a job that requires physicality, why would you get hired for it? You know what I'm saying? You know how many jobs I can't get because I don't have a degree? What am I supposed to? I can't. What? There's no argument for those people. Like, you know, well, I got all this experience doing the work. I just don't have a degree. What, sir? That shit
equates to a degree because my experience, right?
Yeah, but no, they say no. We have a standard. You have to have a degree. Well, why do I have to have a degree to do this job? Technically, you could hire me if you just wanted to, but standards. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes time to lift something heavy, standard out the window. But half the job is lifting, sir. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 80% of what I do is lifting. Right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, when you break it down like that, it does make a lot of sense. It really does. It really does.
It doesn't work across the board. I mean, what I'm saying works across the board. What they're saying don't work across the board. So
yeah, no, I mean, because I'm saying I lived it in real time. I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's unfortunate. I mean, and even then too, like not to gender bash, because I get it. We had our standards and things were a little bit different. One thing that used to, you know what I'm saying, kind of rub me the wrong way and get under my skin was how we had our promotion points, right? So a female push-ups, maybe they only had to do 20 push-ups to score 100 points. But me, I need to do 78 push-ups in 2 minutes to score 100 points. But those 100 points mean the same when it comes to promotion. So now if I need 500 points to get promoted, I do 60 push-ups, I only get 80 points. You do 20 push-ups, you get 100 points. Who's going to get promoted first? Because they have more promotion points. That person who can do less push-ups.
That other person. Right.
Because their standard is less, but they get rewarded higher for doing less work, which means they get more points towards their promotion, which means you get promoted before I get promoted. But you can't do 75 push-ups. But I can. But you get rewarded higher than I do, which makes you eligible to be promoted faster than me.
Right. I think that's messed up too, and I get your point for that. But I'll even give them a pass for that. You can have a standard that's relative to what you think a person's capabilities are based on gender or whatever else. But there's got to be a standard to get through the door, is what I'm saying. Like,
no, I mean, I get that. I get that.
If you meet the standard to get through the door, then you can divide it up with everybody's full potential once they're in the door. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I also get what you're saying though. Like, you know,
but once you make it through the door, and you're given more liberty than somebody who can do more than you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because if I do 75 push-ups, if push-ups is the measurement of how good I do the job, and I can do 75 of them, technically I'm killing the job over you. Like,
yeah,
so I get what you mean.
In the military, it makes sense, especially if you have a physical job. Now, you have a lot of jobs in the military that aren't physical, but my job, I have a job that is physical. So being able to be physically fit and strong, and because I have to move bodies, I have to move people, I have to move equipment, I have to move things, and I have to do it in a smooth, timely fashion. I got to be able to perform physically.
Right.
Yeah, I got to be able to train other people. I got to be able to train other soldiers, but you can't train them to the ability that I can train them. Because you can't do the same things and perform the same functions that I can.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's like if I was if I worked at like a moving company, right? And I might be smarter than the guy that's 300 pounds, but the guy that's 300 pounds, he can move more furniture than me because he's bigger than me. Hey man, he's doing more work than me. It don't matter if I'm technically probably better than him in all other aspects. He's better at this specific job because the measurement of how good we do is how much furniture we can move, or boxes we can move. You know what I'm saying?
Which means it is relevant. It is relevant.
Yeah, at this task, he's better than me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just like you said, you were concerned about gender bashing. It's not a gender bash thing because there are going to be some women that are better at more physical than some men. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those women, they get the benefit.
We definitely have those, but it's not as many.
I mean, understood. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I make that point just to make the point. It's not a gender bashing thing because they're going to have their advantages also at certain things, and they're going to be some of them that are more physical than guys. So that's understood. But at the same time, for the ones who are doing a physical job at a higher level, I mean, it is unfair for them not to get rewarded.
A certain straight level across the board.
For me, it's straight level to get in the door. That's for me, yeah. But I understand what you're saying also. But I wasn't even going that deep into it. For me, it's just like, I was going more on the competitive side.
Now I have to compete with you, but
which makes sense
because when it comes down to it, ranking up in the military is a competition. I have to outperform my peers in order to promote. But if you're technically not outperforming me, and I'm technically outperforming you, but just based on the scale by the numbers, it looks like you're outperforming me.
Right. Yeah, I definitely get it. And it's frustrating once again when it comes to people's money. You know what I'm saying? If that's your standard, your form of income, you want to make sure that you get treated right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I got that problem now. I definitely had that problem in the past, and I see that with individuals now, and it is kind of unfair. It is unfair. I mean, just like we talked about before in the past, Candace Parker can ball out, but can she ball like LeBron? Yeah. So she get paid like LeBron. She's good for her region and what she does within her realm, but she can't hoop like LeBron. So LeBron's gonna make more money.
Yeah.
She can hoop better than me. She can kill me on the court any day.
There you go. You're
You know what
better
I'm
than a
saying?
lot of guys. You know, you just might not be
But which
better
mean,
than your
but she is.
than the best guy. You might not be better than
Yeah.
him. I mean, it just is what it
Right.
is. Nah, you know, man. That's offensive, though, man. You can't say stuff like that, man. You got to stop that, man. We got to move on before we lose our advertising.
Hey, look, but that just goes back all the way back to, you know what I'm saying, one of the early points. It's like, you can't say certain things. You can't say certain things, unfortunately. And why does it have to get to a point of being uncomfortable, though, and cringeworthy, just to say what used to be? I'll say it this way: what used to be what was normal.
You know, to say what a lot of women will admit to, you really just people that bite their tongue aren't biting their tongue for the majority of people. They're biting their tongue to not offend one specific group that they might be talking about at the time. Everybody else don't care. It's just that one specific group that you're talking about. Everybody's always in fear of that group. You know what I'm saying? And whatever, I'm not talking about women, but I'm saying if you're talking about anything,
Any particular
you're talking about cats, then cats, you go, oh Lord, if I offend the cats that I'm talking about, it's gonna be a problem. Like, but everybody else ain't gonna care. Like, you know, unless they friends of the cats or a cat. You know what I'm saying?
they might raise hell about it too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then half the cats ain't gonna care either. Half the cats gonna be like, yeah, man, them gray cats are like that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else will be like,
no, you can't say that about the cats.
Man, you gonna get in trouble talking about those gray cats like that, man. And half the gray cats are like, yeah, man, we are like that. And then the other one's like, I'm offended. It's a weird world, man. You know, and we give too much power to people, man. I think if everybody, that's how you change it. I think if everybody just was like, no, I'm not gonna support you get mad, then people would shut up and get over it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because even with our conversation today, it could be offensive, but the intent is not to offend. It's just having conversation. And it's a conversation about a lot of stuff a lot of people will agree with in private and won't come out and say. And if it got chopped up a certain way, it'll look real bad. But if it's played in its totality, people will understand the message. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with anything, you could take a sound bite and make it sound like anything. And that's why I guess that's why that censorship has become prevalent, because it's like, oh my gosh, if I say this, they can take this and make a sound bite and make me sound like anything. So let me skirt around everything I say for the sake of not being offensive. Yeah, so now you can't say anything because you don't want anything to be taken out of context.
Yeah, and they can still chop up your skirting around or make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? Or make you look dumb. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pick your poison. Like,
yeah.
So it's a lose-lose though, or win-win, however you want to look at it.
However you want to pose it, right?
How's that cigar, man? Let's get your review on the cigar and get on up out of here, man.
Back to the cigars, right? Back to the cigars. Man, hey, that was a hot seat conversation. I did not see it going that way, but that's the nature of what we do, man. That's the nature of cigar conversation. Like I said, the barbershop conversation, cigar conversation. Sometimes it just goes that way. But yeah, but to wrap it up,
desensitized insensitivity can't help but go that way, though, man. You know, once you get into talk about that,
because you got to explore all the facets of it, man, of how we got to this point, anyway.
Right.
How we got here, anyway. But anyway, to get to the cigar, I would say as I got to the second third, as you see, I'm there now. About to finish up that second third and get to that last third. It smoothed out a lot. Maybe it was what I was pairing it with. Maybe it was the conversation. But it did take a back seat. It did end up taking a back seat. But the flavors were still there, but just kind of smoothed out and not as robust and rustic as it was in the very beginning. With my experience with certain cigars like this, I'm expecting it to get back to that eventually towards that final third. But man, I would say for what realm that we would put it in as cigar smokers, and say it's one of those, you know what I'm saying, work boot type of cigars, it's a good cigar for that. It's not your lounge, put your feet up, sit by the water on the yacht type of cigar. But for the roller plays, it's a likable cigar. It's a likable cigar. I would definitely smoke it again. It's not a top 5, but it is another. I would grab it. And I would have it in the humidor for particular purposes. So you want my rating? You want the rating?
What's your rating? Let's hear it.
I'm gonna give this cigar a 3.5. 3.5.
Ooh, cool. All right, just barely above average.
And 3.5 on the structure. Like, we've been going with this cigar for an hour already, and we saw how short these cigars were. And to get a good hour smoke out of this, that's a nod. That's a nod to good quality and good structure.
Most definitely. I got a pretty good out of mine. I'm not gonna rate mine because I do believe it's a little bit stale. But it's smoothed out, it's smoothed out. I see the potential of what it could have been if it was done properly, but I don't want to say anything unfair to Arturo.
And again for the viewers who might not have heard, Arturo Fuentes is not a brand that it's not a brand that we're not familiar with. We definitely smoked a good fair share. I know you have yourself. I have myself. Yeah. So, would you like to rate the your typical experience with that cigar before? Your past experiences?
Man, at least a 4.2 on most occasions. You know what I'm saying?
4.2. Okay,
and that's out of 5. So
yeah.
Even this one was at least a 3.2 stale. You know what I'm saying? So I know.
Cool. Yeah. So I just want to put that out, just because how fond I am, and I know you are, to at least for anybody who hasn't smoked that cigar before and might have been wondering about that cigar. I didn't want, them to just kind of get pushed to the side because bad care on the cigar by the cigar shop, because they definitely are a cigar brand worth picking up.
Yeah, most definitely. If you haven't ever tried them, I would say anything from Arturo Fuentes is worth a try, man. They're a very good brand and reliable and consistent through most of their different lines. So give them a try. If you have never tried them,
yes, sir.
Don't hold this episode against them. But I guess that's all. You got any closing words for us?
Oh man, I think we done said a mouthful.
We said enough. All right, y'all.
Get to work. I would say this. Get you a cigar and get to work, man. Sometimes a cigar is good for leisure, but sometimes a cigar is good to get back to work. You know what I'm saying? Get that grind in. Get that grind in.
I had to pick one up for work purposes, man. Y'all, hey, man, you heard it. But anyway, we appreciate y'all for tuning in this week's episode. It probably won't be no ads in it, but hopefully we'll return back next week, man. We'll get with y'all for next week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast.
Yes, sir. Cigars up.